So, number ourselves can free our minds. And what do I mean by that? Well, once we realize, or how we couldn't realize, how this virus of the mind has basically hijacked all of our minds, and how much we've actually been lied to and deceived and basically enslaved, and completely programmed with all of this virus stuff. The way I see it is that there's a virus of the mind, and if anybody, out there still has doubts that we're actually being lied to, and that there isn't a whole other agenda or plan going on behind the scenes, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, go and do your own research. I don't really give a fuck anymore. I'm just going to speak my truth and speak from the heart, speak from the Cree about what I actually feel is going on and what I feel we need to do, which is to basically take back sovereignty, but take back our minds, because our minds have literally been controlled and hijacked. And the way I see it is each one of us at the moment plays a crucial role in these times, because actually I see these times as being almost like biblical times. And the way I see it is that we have like a window of opportunity to really, really get things in order, so that we leave the world a better place for our children and our grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren, okay? And that we leave a flourishing and beautiful world and planet and way of them to live their lives, to be happy and to be sovereign and to be free individuals, where they can just have a happy life, like. And isn't that funny? Isn't that like what it's all about, is just to be happy and to be free? And yet we've been totally robbed of our freedom and of our sovereignty, and been asked to wear these masks, okay, that keep us silent and keep us from speaking to each other. And for anyone who's still, I'm probably going to do a whole other thing about the masks, but just common sense. You're basically breathing in your own poison wearing that mask, wearing that thing. And even the WHO and the CDC, they've all done different like talks and things about the masks, basically saying that they're not necessary. And even it says on the packaging of the masks that they're not going to protect against any virus. So what are we even putting them on for? And yet it seems that we're all just so programmed to go and, but like, I was sitting outside my supermarket the other day in my car, watching people as they go into the supermarket, just putting it on. And people, like, you're breathing in your own poison with that mask, and it's blocking the oxygen, the very thing that is going to strengthen our immune system and our lungs, the very thing that's going to actually prevent us from any viruses in the future is a strong immune system. We need to be breathing. That's one of our basic things. If we can't breathe oxygen and drink water, we can go a lot longer without food. People have fasted for days and days, 40 days straight, or 60 days even, some people. And I do a lot of fasting myself nowadays. I can go for a long time without food, but not without breathing, like. And to be thinking that we're just going to put this thing on and it's going to actually prevent us from getting sick is just, to me, it's like, hello. It just tells me how programmed we all actually are and how asleep we all are. And like, I'm just going to speak from the heart and from the Cree, from the heart here. And whoever this message touches, like, hopefully we can all connect and create something beautiful together in the future, because I believe that this is all about people finding each other and communities coming together. I've lost a lot of friends. I've even, felt completely ostracized from some of the groups that I used to be a part of, because I've now started to speak up and speak my mind and speak my truth. And I'm suddenly feeling like I'm being very selfish, or you're being very selfish for not just putting on your mask and kind of going along with what society is telling me to do. Whereas in my heart, I'm like, this is fucking nuts. Are you like, how are people still so asleep? And I'm just going to start talking a couple of like facts, okay? On the CDC website back in March, this virus was downgraded to a common cold back in March. So it's nothing more than a common cold. We all have coronaviruses in our system anyway. The SARS virus, the common cold is a coronavirus. And these tests, by the way, the HSE has already said that the tests aren't accurate. They're a total fucking joke, because the guy who designed the testing kits was never meant to use it for a diagnostic purpose. And he's even spoken out about that. And there's loads of people speaking out about this kind of stuff now. So this test is actually picking up any kind of coronavirus that any of us may have had in our lifetime, which is pretty much 100%. That's why you're seeing all these cases and cases and cases. But what I'm telling people is, like, look for actual evidence of this being a deadly virus. Is there any actual evidence? Do you know anyone who's died? Do you know anyone who's been seriously sick? Do you know anyone at all? I know 2 people apparently that were diagnosed. Well, I don't personally know them, but I know friends of friends, okay, who've told me about people that they know. And it's strange, because we all live on such a tiny little island here in Ireland. It's like a village. Like, everyone would be speaking about this stuff. You'd be seeing ambulances flying past your house. You'd be seeing visible evidence with your eyes of this being a deadly virus. All your family members would be dying if this was some sort of pandemic. But it's not. Nobody's sick. And the only people that I know, like I said, were friends of friends, and they're all absolutely fine. Not a bother. I believe that the reason that we are more susceptible and prone to viruses is that we're being poisoned, mainly through our water, our soil, and our air. Where food is sprayed with poison. Have you seen the guys who actually spray our food in these spacesuits? They're spraying it with poison, and we're putting that in our mouth, so we're being poisoned that way. Our drinking water is totally contaminated with lots and lots of heavy metals and fluoride and arsenic, lead, aluminium. But the worst, well, one of the worst, which is a known neurotoxin, which is fluoride. And fluoride is literally a neurotoxin, but it's also one of the things that Hitler used to dumb down the Jews. Go and Google that shit, or maybe not Google it, but duck and go it, because Google is censoring the shit out of everything nowadays. We know that as well. But basically, Hitler used that to dumb down the Jews. How do you think he got so many Jews to go to these concentration camps? He was actually poisoning the water that they were drinking. And what fluoride does is it totally rots your pineal gland. It causes osteoporosis, arthritis, cancers, tumours, kidney stones, liver stones, depression, dementia. And Ireland is one of the only countries in Europe which is still fluoridating our water. So we're poisoning. We've been poisoned, guys. Hugely poisoned. We've got to wake up to this stuff. And we've got to demand that shit is taken out of our drinking water. ASAP. But that I believe this is why Ireland is so slow to speak up and to have a bit of pride and sovereignty of ourselves, is because we're seriously being poisoned. And St. Patrick needs to come back here to get rid of a few snakes, a lot of snakes. I mean, we talk about what the British have done to us, but what the Irish are doing to their own people is pure abuse and evil and disgusting. Like how we've allowed the landlords and all of that to charge such high prices, even throughout this whole recession, and this is disgusting. That's a whole other video, but how we've actually, we're doing this to ourselves, where our own government is enslaving us and our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren into debt and tyranny. And that's what the EU, as far as I'm concerned, is all about. And Ireland could be and should be a completely sovereign and free nation, but we've got to get rid of the abuse of our own people. We've got to get rid of this addiction that we have. We're seen as the drinking Irish. That's kind of funny sometimes, but it's not really, because we've kind of subdued into allowing ourselves to be hijacked and enslaved. Basically, the Irish people have allowed themselves to be enslaved, and we have this horrible thing of just going, sure, fuck it, we just have to get on with it. Well, what kind of fucking attitude is that to have? Like, seriously, our own government are indebting us and enslaving us, when the bankers, way back when, should have been fucking imprisoned for what they actually did to the Irish people. That's a whole other video, and I'm going off course, but I'm basically trying to talk about how we can take back sovereignty, how we need to take back sovereignty of our voices and our minds and our health and our children's health, because it's so simple. Like, I'm not afraid of any virus, and you know, all I'm doing is I'm taking vitamin C continuously since last March, high dose vitamin C. You get it in the health food shop, the BioCare range, and you can either get the drops of the BioCare range and it goes straight into your bloodstream, high dose, or I take the freeze-dried vitamin C. And I'll actually try to remember to link some of those below, and just to let you all know, but they're so cheap. I take the high dose freeze-dried vitamin C that I get from my local health store, Rainbow Whole Foods, and all natural in town, and it costs about €6, and I take that. I've taken that continuously since last March. I take B vitamins as well, because women are mostly deficient in B vitamins, and we need to, even if you're vegan and even if you eat like kilos and kilos of super greens, most of us are completely deficient in B vitamins. So I take liquid B vitamins, the ones that go straight into your bloodstream, but I don't take them continuously, but I have been taking the vitamin C continuously since last March to boost up my immune system. I take the B vitamins kind of for 3 months at a time, and then I give myself a month or two off. And then coming into winter season, because we're not going to be getting enough sunlight or daylight, and actually because that's another thing, our daylight is being totally hijacked with chemtrails. If people don't fucking want to believe in that kind of stuff, I couldn't really give a fuck anymore. It's well known. Even Oxford University are speaking about how, you know, they're actually doing this to try and combat climate change, which don't even get me started. I've got so much to say, but I'm trying to stay on track, and I'm trying to give a message for hope here. So I take the zinc coming into the winter times as well, the vitamin D supplement coming into the winter months, because that's the one that we're going to be lacking more daylight in the winter months. It's just obvious. So I take vitamin C continuously since last March. I take the vitamin D now since September. And I also take the zinc, because all of three of those work together. And I'm also actually making my own hydroxychloroquine, which is basically what it is it just alkalizes your body. It gets rid of fungicides and things like candida out of your body, and it alkalizes your body. And I'm actually making my own hydroxychloroquine as well. And I'm also writing to my doctors now to say that if they don't make that available, then they are actually responsible for a medication. They're withholding a medication. They've taken the Hippocratic Oath. And they're actually withholding a medication that has been proven from first-hand evidence that it works with the virus. Okay, so, and if you don't want to believe in that, what I'm saying, then seriously, I couldn't give a fuck anymore. I'm just, all this information is actually out there, readily available for people. And I'm tripping up over my words now because I've held it in for so long, what I want to say. And I feel that I've been completely ostracized for trying to speak out against my truth. So, I'm probably going to do a good few more of these videos, but basically what it is just about taking sovereignty back for ourselves, taking back control of our health and our communities where young and old could work together, where we can have our music and our art and our poetry and our dance and our celebrations back. Because if we don't take a stand now up against this corruption, then our world could look very different. Our world could look basically like it looks now. That's not ever going to stop, because this is the new total tyranny and total agenda that they have, is to just have us all chipped, have us all vaccinated, have us all controlled. And it's a grey looking world that they want, and that's Agenda 2030. Okay, and it makes Nazi Germany look like a fucking little walk in the park, to be honest. And I realise now how much I've actually been swearing, but fuck it, I'm Irish. That's just in my blood. It's in our blood as Irish people. And they say that a good fuck is actually good. It's good for your it's just good for the soul, I think, anyway. So it's about taking back sovereignty, taking back control and sovereignty of our health, our children's health, our children's future, our financial future. And there's a whole beautiful world waiting for all of us. Like, we could be sovereign financially, with our health, with our nation. Ireland could be one of the richest countries in the world. It could be one of the most sovereign countries in the world. We don't need the EU. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against... I like the idea of nations collaborating, and I think that that could be good, but the EU as it stands is a very bad system, and it would have us all being slaves and indebted. And basically this whole New World Order agenda is part of the EU. The EU is very much a part of that. And Ireland doesn't need to be a part of that. Like I said, I do like the idea of countries coming together and to have us as a nation, or as a kind of a community, I suppose. But Ireland could be so sovereign. We have some of the best land in the world. We have, we could be, there's so many ideas that I have. We could be growing hemp. We could be going back to organic farming. We could be getting our farmers back to the land, back to their hearts, back to the land of this country, and let everybody thrive through good food and clean water. And there's so many jobs and ways that we can create. Basically everyone could have a job anyway through hemp and different things like that. and organic food, and just with our heritage and our language. Our Irish language is sacred. We could literally be, you know, creating this whole tourist industry that where everybody thrives from, and not just a chosen few. And we could be, you know, really celebrating our, like, our language and our heritage and the craft and the creativity and the storytelling and the myths and the culture of Ireland is sacred. It really is sacred. But only a chosen few are benefiting, and it doesn't need to be that way. Like, we could be, you know, there's so many ideas about what we could be doing in schools, and just growing more trees and getting the forests back of Ireland, because they've been completely depleted and taken over by Sitka plantations. And so back to the message, which is a message of hope and new beginnings, but it's also a message of urgency. And I'm not saying that lightly. I do believe that we have a window of opportunity, only a few months actually, to really, really get things in order, to clean up house and to get out these clowns that have been running the country. St. Patrick seriously needs to come back and get rid of the snakes that have been in debt in the Irish people. We've been abusing and allowing our government to abuse our own people and ourselves. And then we go on about the British. We can't keep playing that victim card, guys. We have to really, really take back sovereignty and fucking cop on to ourselves. We need to really cop on in this country, and really start working together in new communities, new ways, take back sovereignty of our health, take back our financial freedom, get out of this debt, this EU debt, okay, and actually create a whole new vision for Ireland and for the world. And it could just be so beautiful. So I hope that people just take something from this, is to just open your eyes. Okay, there's nothing to fear. This virus it was downgraded to the common cold last March on the CDC website. So there's nothing to fear. There's just, we've got to start taking action, and we've got to start demanding that our media, including RTE and all of our medias, start actually speaking the truth, because we're actually paying their bills, and they are totally forcing this fear-filled bullshit onto their nation every single day. So we've got to get rid of them and build new communities, build new media, build new podcasts, and, you know, newspapers. Why not have good newspapers? Why not have newspapers about ideas and things that could actually work in the community and for our nation? And so my message today is basically to switch off from the mainstream narrative. Go and do your research Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, and realise that we have to be our own saviours. We can't be putting our sovereignty into the government and because at the moment they're not serving us, and we don't need them. We don't need them. We can be our own leaders, our own gatherers, our own alchemists and conjurers. We can make magic happen literally together, but with our own minds. And we need to take back sovereignty of our own minds, and none but ourselves can free our minds. Go and pop Bob Marley on and listen to the words of those songs, because they're the true musicians. All these celebrities, so-called celebrities, faux celebrities, who stand for absolutely fuck all but going and getting Botox and their arse pumped up, and just, you know, sexifying everything, okay, trying to lure people in to this whole new world order stuff, they've got fucking nothing really to say. Like, what will they be remembered for? Sweet fuck all. But people like Bob Marley, musicians like Bob Marley and Tracy Chapman and Jack Johnson and of course Michael Jackson and Prince and Bob Dylan. I mean, Bob Dylan, right? A legend. But these are true musicians. These are true poets and word alchemists. Their words are sacred. And so go and pop Bob Marley on. Have a listen to that song, None But Ourselves Can Free Our Minds. It's called Redemption Songs. And it's a beautiful song. And it's a song of the heart of the Cree. And I'm speaking to you today from my heart, from my Cree. And I've got so much that I want to share with you. Good news and good ideas and amazing ideas about how we can make Ireland sovereign and how the young people of this Ireland have got so much to look forward to. From my children and my grandchildren, I know that the future is magical. The future is golden, and we're all going to survive and thrive. It's literally magical what we can literally all create together, because we are magicians. We're mind magicians, but it depends where you want to focus your mind onto. So just go and pop Bob Marley on. Redemption Songs. Tracy Chapman talking about a revolution. Bob Dylan, The Times They Are Changing. Michael Jackson, The Man in the Mirror. Prince, Purple Rain. Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Annie Lennox. Why? And just open your minds and realize that we are sovereign beings and that we all have a part to play in this new future of the world, and that there's nothing to be afraid of. Just realize that our immune system will work with us when we work with it, and there's nothing to be afraid of. This is nothing more than the common cold, okay? But we do need to cleanse ourselves from the poisons that we're surrounded by, okay, with the water, with the fluoride. So take action on the fluoride. Demand that this poison is removed from our drinking water. Demand that they stop spraying our food with glyphosate poisons, and demand in your supermarkets that they start stocking organic stock, local organic produce. Why do we need to be eating blueberries from Peru? Why do we need to be eating GMO sweet potatoes from America? Where's all the local organic produce? And we live in Ireland, we could be all surrounded by it. So we do need to take action. We do need to demand clean drinking water. We do need to demand that they stop spraying our airways as well. You know, they're messing, man-made things like that, messing with our airwaves, and our air that we breathe is wrong, you know. And so we need to demand clean drinking water. We need to demand the truth start to be told big time, and we need to demand that our food is stopped being poisoned as well. So I'm probably just repeating myself now on and on, but my message here is a message of hope. It's a message of truth, and hopefully is a message that will inspire people to go, fuck, there is nothing to be afraid of. Seriously. There's not anything to be afraid of, but there's so much to be hopeful of. But we need to start copping on and taking action. And let's make Ireland proud again. Let's make Ireland sovereign again. Let's make Ireland, you know, fucking something to be proud of. Seriously. We are literally the heart of the world here in Ireland, and I just want to wake up the young people and the all ages, but especially give hope to the young people that the future is in your hands. So we need you all to stand with us and to start paving the way with us and start joining forces with us. And if you liked what I had to say here today, drop me a little comment, and hopefully we can start all joining forces and working on projects that mean something together in the future. But it has to start here. It has to start from the heart. So none but ourselves can free our minds. And that's my message for today. Take back sovereignty. Go and pop Bob Marley on. Bob Marley. Go and pop him on. He's a man of such wisdom. So that's my message for you all today. But like I said, we've got a window of time and we need to take action and do something. And just think of your grandchildren, of your great-great-grandchildren. What would you like to tell them that you did in these times? So, much love to you all, and thank you for listening. Blessings. And go and pop Bob Marley on.